2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GD1A Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Wacey Giles.
And I'm your host, Dahlia Fay.
And we are going to be covering 1A sports. Right now, we'll be covering basketball, both boys and girls, 1A all across the state of Utah. This is something we've thought about over the past year. We know there's kind of similar podcasts, but nothing to do with the 1A, so we figured it would be good for people that maybe can't go to the games, or maybe they know people from certain towns that they would like to go watch, but they can't. So maybe here it'll give them a little bit of insight on how things are going, and we'll do our best to cover each team. Some teams, coaches, as you know, we've been looking the last couple of days, there's not a lot of stats. Sometimes scores aren't available.
No, but we're always talking about games after anyways at our house, so we figured we might as well talk about it.
Exactly, yeah. If we're going to talk about it anyway, let's do it so other people can hopefully tune in and watch and listen, and I guess maybe get our 2 cents on how things are going. We kind of talked about this too, and I do want to mention it. I know a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of editing and stuff like that, but we're not going to edit. We're just going to do it, and my reasoning for that is I feel like it's more authentic, and that's not a dig at anybody that edits. If you want to edit, go ahead and edit. I just feel like for me, and we kind of talked about this before too, it's us, saying it as we say it.
Yep.
Not kind of like, I should have said that. And, at the end of the day, we're human. If we mess up, we'll backtrack.
Yep.
And we'll move on. So, but we're excited to do this. Dally asked me about a year ago if it's something I would want to do, and I was all in from the get-go.
Well, and it all started, announcing our home basketball games, and I'd done that by myself quite a while, and then you finally moved back and said, hey, let's try this together, and, now we kind of got a following as far as the local people. So
yeah, and I've actually, even not local, I mean, there's local people here, but their family that live some out of state.
Yes.
And they tell us all the time, that people tune in and they watch, and they like the fact that there's commentary, which I do. I don't know if you've ever tried to watch a basketball game, like an NBA game with no volume, or you go in like a sports bar or any place and they've got it playing, you can't hear it. I can't watch it.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
It drives me nuts. But so we're excited to do this, and we hope that you all watching will enjoy it. And one more thing I guess we can throw, we do have an email, so we're going to do a little segment at some point during the show. What were you going to call it?
We're calling it Memories on the Hardwood.
Memories on the Hardwood. So tonight, for this being the first episode, Dally and I will each share one of our favorite memories from when we played. And then eventually, we would like for people to send us an email of maybe a memory they had. And I want to specify here too, we may be from Tabiona, we may follow Tabiona, but we also encourage anybody that's listening this from the southern regions, all the way, the entire state that's 1A. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you get wind of this, which we hope you do, and you have some great memories you'd want to share, we'd love to talk about them. So right now, and we'll say it again before we leave, just to make sure we get it out there, but the email is the GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com. So feel free to
send us your memories.
Yeah, send us your memories. And if we don't, I'm hoping that we'll get several emails, and I don't know that we might make this segment where we cover maybe a couple, 2 or 3 maybe. So if you do send us one and we don't talk about it, it'll be first on the list for next week.
Yes.
So our plan right now is to do one a week. I was thinking I think we're probably going to try to release this on Mondays. Is that correct?
Yep.
So they'll be available for Monday. So if there's any games, like for example, there's games tomorrow that we obviously don't have anything from. So we'll cover Saturday's games the following week.
Yes.
So with that being said, I guess we can kind of jump in here and start to...
Yeah, let's jump into the power rankings of what Deseret News has to say. We'll cover the boys first. But right now, you got the Panguitch Bobcats. Sorry, I'll scoot in here.
Got to get your pretty face in that frame.
Yeah. So you got the Panguitch Bobcats. They're obviously coming off of another state title.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, their program's always just top notch.
One thing, when I only get to watch Panguitch at the state tournament, but when I do, their style of basketball, their coaches have not changed.
No, they're
It's-
so disciplined with their
Yes,
kids.
and it's the hard-nosed grit. I mean, just work your guts out type of stuff, and it shows that it still works. You know, a lot of teams and coaches have changed as basketball has, kind of more of a fast-paced. I think kids nowadays are a little bit more athletic than we were. Well, I'm a little bit older than you, so
Yeah.
you guys were even a little more athletic than around my time too. But when I was in high school, there might have been 5 kids in the whole state that could dunk the ball.
Right.
You know, and I mean now there's kids all over.
Yeah.
But Panguitch is one that it's that old school, just hard nosed basketball, and they work. You know, they play good D. They're a great program, and it always has been.
Oh yeah. And then second, obviously, the Rich Rebels, you know, played for the state championship last year, just fell short to the Bobcats. But their program, same thing, you know, always pretty disciplined and just, you know, they compete every single year. It
Yeah.
don't matter. It doesn't matter what year it is. It always seems like they are top 5.
And they recently, I don't remember how long he's been there, but they got the new coach, Lex Cornea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said that right? And he previously had coached, I believe, at Evanston, but he went to high school in Rich. His dad was on the coaching staff for years. And I think he does a great job with those boys. I think like you said, they compete every year.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, they're always right there. Boys and girls, both programs
Oh,
are
yeah.
good too. But we'll get to the girls in a minute. I kind of jumped ahead there.
But and then you got third, Bryce Valley, you know. Like I said, another program that, as far as I can remember, always just, they're there.
Yeah, Bryce Valley. You know, all these teams we're going to talk about, to be honest with you, 1A has always been a strong basketball program, I feel like.
Oh,
There's
yes.
always good teams, and it's usually, I mean, Tabby, for example. I know they're not in the power rankings, and they, have kind of fell short a few years, but it's still an important program to these small towns, and that's all these 1A schools are small towns.
Well, and you love to see coaches bring, maybe 5 or 6, 7 kids and just turn them into just a great ball club.
Mhm.
Unlike your 5, 6A schools where, they've got 30 kids to pick from that are just
Or
all
more.
stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when they have their tryouts, it's
Well, we've got a guy here. He's from Tabby, but he had moved out to, I think, Salem.
yes.
And he told us a story that, he was trying out for the basketball team, worked his butt off, did everything he could, and he got cut.
Right.
And discouraged, come back the next year, tried out, got cut. I think it was his senior year, I think he said. He ended up making the team. But that goes to show you that there's so many kids to choose from. And it's not that he wasn't a good basketball player,
No.
just so many choices. But you get these small towns where, look at Coach Gines this year. He's got 13 kids.
You're right.
Yes.
And really, and most of them are freshmen.
Yeah, 7 of them are freshmen.
So,
But that's what's cool, I think, about a small town, all these kids, too. I would imagine it's the same everywhere. These kids start playing when they're 3 years old.
yes.
And they never stop. One strong suit for a lot of these teams is the junior high program, and I don't think people understand that, but you got your junior jazz and stuff like that, but when things start getting serious and you have to start actually learning how to run plays and how to remember them and stuff, that's kind of where junior high comes in, and if you've got a strong junior high program, it usually carries to the high school because they're not behind. They don't have to play catch up. They're kind of right there.
And and you got kids 3rd, 4th grade. They got them in traveling leagues now.
Mhm.
I mean, back when we played, there was nothing like
No.
that. I mean,
Nope.
we had our junior jazz. That was about all we got. Until
See, and
we
when
got
I
to
was in
junior
school,
high.
I honestly don't even remember junior jazz. Not here anyway.
Right.
But yeah, these kids can play basketball year round if they want to.
Right.
You know.
Now we'll go to the 4th power ranking here. Paiute, man. They looked like a pretty dang ball club when they came up here this year. And, out of all the coaches in the state, I think they got one of the most respected coaches, Coach Jessen. He's a phenomenal guy. He came up to Duchesne. He coached my wife in volleyball and things. And, he's like I'd have to say, from what I hear around, he's probably one of the most respected guys
I
in the
agree.
whole state.
And he coached Bryce Valley when I was in high school. That's when we played them. He was their head coach. And so he's been to a few different places, but wherever he's been, he's had good teams. He understands.
And he makes good teams.
That's what I was going to say. He understands how to bring these kids together. When he came to Duchesne, I'm sure he knew a few people, but it'd be the same as a student moving to a new school. You got to get to know everybody. But for him to be able to have that ability to bring a group of kids in and create chemistry to where they can be a decent ball club, whether it's basketball, volleyball, whatever it is he's coaching.
And that's the thing. He didn't even really coach volleyball. He comes up to Duchesne, takes on that task, and, man, he made a group of girls look way good, So a lot of respect for Coach Jessen.
And I think Paiute, as all these power ranked teams we got right here, they're going to be right close to the top all year long, I think. And and even some of the teams that aren't in it, there'll be other teams creep up throughout the year. A couple of these might fall a little bit, but Paiute's going to be another solid team, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. And you got fifth here, Valley. I don't know a whole lot about them. They're one that I'm excited to watch a few of their games and get kind of see how their programs ran a little more. But even in the past, they've still always showed up at a state tournament, and they're always a contender, it seems like.
Yep.
So. But that is your power rankings as far as your boys' side. And should we show the power rankings for the girls now?
Yeah, we can do that. And then
for the girls, you got the Rich Rebels. Just like I said, we talked about it in the boys, but strong program. Panguitch Bobcats. Once again, solid program as far as the girls. And then you got our hometown Tabiona Tigers, obviously we're from Tabby, but Coach Fabrizio, I hope to see him get past that curse that he's he's fell in, man. He's been there so many times and he just hasn't been able to get past that mark. But, this year, the girls he's got, past years he's had offenses run through, two girls, but this year, man, he's got weapons.
Well, and that's the thing. I think he's only got 2 freshmen, but both freshmen, they've got a lot to learn, but they can both come in and help the team. Every girl he's got on his bench, he can bring in.
Oh, and
he's got a solid team from
so
freshmen
strong.
to seniors.
Probably one of the strongest girls teams we've seen in 10 years.
Yeah,
really.
and he's only got 1 senior.
Right.
So most of all but one of these girls will be back. Next year there's only 3 8th graders, so he'll only gain 3 girls there. But yeah, he's got a solid lineup, and he does a great job every year too. He might not have a championship to show for anything, but when he came here and took over the program, I think from day one, I think he's been pretty solid at it.
Oh yeah.
And he's another one of those coaches that he's able to bring the girls in. The girls love him. They get along great. He just understands how to coach them, and to get them to do what he wants them to do.
But we'll talk about more of them here in a bit. But you got Wayne, and Wayne, they're off to a strong start this year.
They are.
They're 4-0. They've beat some pretty decent teams from what it looked like. But their game next week against the Bobcats, we're definitely going to be talking about that.
Hopefully we can figure out how to watch that too. That'd be a fun one to watch, I think.
And then you got Valley on the girls' side too, and their girls are always, top notch as well. So
Valley's got boys and girls both in the top 5 of your power rankings. So that's a good sign for Valley.
I guarantee you their gyms are fun to go to when it's game time. So.
Yeah, probably a packed house.
So now, should we go back into the boys looking here? I'm looking on Max Preps, a lot of games been getting played here through the last couple days, and even some being played tonight as we're filming this. But there's one team I kind of want to look at, and that is Green River, man. They, you look at what they've been doing. They've played Tinnick, North Severe. They lost to San Juan, but they beat Grand, and they're playing Bryce Valley tonight. But, North Severe, they beat them by 2, but it seemed like last year they were a pretty solid team in the 2A division. So, I mean, just looking at Green River, I think they're going to be one of them teams that's kind of flying under the radar, and I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with them.
And I know from the couple of games that they've had and stuff that you and I have talked about, they've got for sure 2 kids that can really score the ball.
Yeah.
And one's a point guard and one's a big guy.
Looking here, Jason Hernandez, in the games he's played, he's averaging 22 points a game. And, as far as when it comes to basketball anywhere, that is very impressive.
Oh, yeah.
When you're hitting that 20-point a game, I mean, you're definitely when it comes to a coach's game plan, you are the guy they're going to try and shut down.
Yep.
So, and then you got on the rebounding, David Mendez, he's averaging 7 rebounds a game. So, and obviously we're going to keep tabs on this as we go through the season. But just looking at them at the start, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and they've got the guard. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Jason Hernandez?
No. Oh, is he the guard?
Yes. He's their point guard, shooting guard is what Max Preps has.
So one of them, it might have been him then in their last game, was 6 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, and like I said, that's hard to do.
Yeah, so. that's pretty good game for anybody there, 6 for 8.
And then, so they're definitely a team I think everyone needs to keep a watch out for. So now looking at, obviously, the Panguitch Bobcats, they've got a kid here. They've been you can tell Coach Barney likes to schedule tough teams with his program. But Trenton Verga, I hope I'm saying that right. He's a senior. He's averaging 19 points a game, pretty much 20, 19.7. And he's also their top rebounder, 15.3. But, what it says here is he's, I think he's 6'7", if I remember. Seeing right here, he's a 6'7" senior. So, the Bobcats, if you got a player like that, you can just do a lot.
Well, and like we said with Panguitch's program and Coach Barney, if you've got a kid that's 6'7", you're going to turn him into a ball player.
Oh, and all of his teammates around him are, like I said, so disciplined and are going to get him the ball and the opportunities.
And if he's anything like all the Panguitch players have been in the past, I would imagine, is he leading them in rebounds?
Yes. Okay,
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's going to the basket every single time a shot's put up.
Right. So now looking at Paiute, they're 3-2 right now, and their top scorer is Blake Gleave. He's averaging 11 points a game. He's also leading in rebounds a game with 7. And so, he must be a really good ball player as well. But looking at all of Paiute's players here, I think they're all really well-rounded. All of them can about score the ball.
It seems like that's usually how they are. Everybody that comes in is pretty versatile in all of it, scoring, passing, rebounding. But, like we said, as the season progresses and we kind of are able to watch some of these teams a little bit, whether we're able to drive to games or catch them, they've got to be streaming somewhere. So as we watch them more, it'll be interesting to see, because right now some of these teams are 5 games in, some of them are 4 games in, some of them are only 2 games in. So it's still very early. But it'll be interesting to see if some of these kids, that's averaging 20+, if that'll carry through for the whole season.
Yeah, and that's why, like with the Rich Rebels, obviously played Milford in the state championship of football.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up winning that, so their season's obviously starting later. But congratulations to the Rebels.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
it don't matter what sport it is, getting a state title in anything, it takes hard work,
For
blood,
sure.
sweat, and tears, man. So, but yeah, when they play more games, we'll obviously cover them more.
Yeah, they've only. I think they play tonight. I think I saw, but I know their first game was yesterday. So some of these teams, like we said, 3 to 5 games in, and they're just getting their first one. So yeah, we'll have right now not much to talk about, Rich, as far as how their season's going, but we'll definitely get more in the next coming weeks.
And then got Bryce Valley. They're actually playing Green River tonight, so I'm very curious to see how that comes out. But Bryce Valley, they played San Juan, lost to them by 10. Then they played Millard, and they actually beat Millard. And Millard, looking at their schedule, they played Panguitch, and Millard beat Panguitch this year.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's basketball. It depends on who shows up that night,
Yeah.
obviously. But I thought, where Bryce Valley beat Millard, that goes to show you they are in that top caliber of
for sure.
the 1A team. So
And I've got it here, but have you got their leading scorer?
I'm looking at right now.
Because
Surratt.
Syrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Syrat. And that's a very long-standing name in Bryce Valley.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Always good ball players.
Even when I played, they were... That last name is just, it's like hearing Giles, hearing Tabiona. I mean, I'm telling you. But, yeah, he's averaging 21 points a game. Like I said, he's only a junior, so he's definitely figuring it out.
And he'll be one to keep an eye on.
And like I said, we're not editing this, so if we sound like a bunch of idiots on here,
Well, and we'll improve. Like I've already noticed one thing right now that's driving me nuts, but it's too late to do anything about. It's pretty dark.
Yeah,
I was hoping, the Giles Homestead studio here would be a little more lit up for us, but there's little things we'll fix here and there. First episode, we hope we don't get judged too hard on it, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, and Syrat's also leading them in reboundings too, so
a lot of these kids that's leading the team in scoring is also leading in rebounding. So,
but then you got Rustin Chinoth. He's averaging 10 a game. I think his name is Perez. I hope I'm saying this right. He's averaging 8.5. So I mean, you still got kids that are able to just score the ball when it comes to Bryce Valley.
Well, and the thing of it is, any team, if you've got a kid that's averaging 20 a game, if you can get 2 or 3 of your other kids to average around 10, I mean, you're putting up 50 points right there just in 4 players.
Right.
And then if you get a couple other kids that get 2 and 3, a lot of teams will have a couple of kids that'll come in and hit 1, maybe 2 threes every few games for them. But I feel like if you can score 50 points and you've got good defense, you're giving yourself a great chance to win every game you go out and play.
Oh, yeah, and Coach Gides always told us, if you can hold a team under 40, usually you're looking pretty good to win the game. Mm-hmm. So I've always kept that in my mind. If you can hold a team to 10 points a quarter and you somehow can score more than that, you're a pretty good defensive team.
And I mean, you think about it, you hold a team to 10 points a quarter, all you've got to do is win each quarter by 1.
Right.
Or technically win 1 quarter by 1,
Right.
But it's defense has changed too. I mean,
yes.
It doesn't seem to be as hard-nosed and physical. I mean, it still gets a little physical, but it's kind of crazy to watch basketball now because it is just so much different.
Yeah.
Even at the pro level, at all levels of basketball, it's just so much different. It just doesn't seem to be the same. But so holding a team to 10 points, and not to mention all the kids that can shoot now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
there's so many.
Steph Curry has encouraged
I'll
so
tell
many
you what,
young
man.
kids, man.
But you know what? I wonder if half of these kids even know Steph Curry's daily workouts in the gym.
Right.
I mean, this guy's taken. I'm gonna have to look this up because the number blew my mind. The amount, it was hundreds of shots that he's taken, and he's got a certain routine to where he starts in one spot and moves back. And Boston. For those of you who don't know, my boy, 4th grade. This kid obsessed with Steph Curry. That's his sister will ask him a question, and it has nothing to do with basketball, and his answer is Steph Curry. I mean, this kid just. So I was telling him one day, so you have any idea how many shots that guy takes in one day at practice? So I sat down there and broke it down with him, and he was just like, "What?"
Yeah.
But if kids are gonna watch him and they see how he's gonna shoot, obviously shooting you got to have a little bit of talent. Not anybody can just grab the ball and shoot it and be as good a shooter as him, or well, nobody's good a shooter as him, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
But there's just so many kids nowadays that can shoot the ball, and so holding a team to 10 is probably pretty tough. But to your advantage, you've probably got just as many kids that can shoot the ball.
Oh, definitely. I mean, in the last boys game, Tab against Milford, man, it was kind of dry, and then next thing you know, a 3, and then it was coming the other side, a 3, and then they put up like 20 points in 2 minutes, and you're like, wow, this 3-point game is definitely just improving every year. And talking about Tab, obviously we're from Taviona, so we're gonna talk about them quite a bit. But one kid, Rocky Rhodes, man, to miss last season, but then come back and just pick up the ball like he never did is just is so unbelievable. I mean, he is averaging 24, pretty much 25 points a game right now, and a lot of it's just come from finishing around the rim. He is so good around the rim, it's almost scary.
Yeah.
Like,
one thing about him though, he did miss last year. But I don't think there was a day of the week that he wasn't at the gym.
It probably wasn't.
I seen him over there constantly. Him and another player for Tabby, Jackson Olsen. Both of those two in the gym every day. And I kept telling my wife, I'm like, that is dedication.
Yes.
That's 2 kids that want to play ball. They want to be good, and they want to win. Because, I mean, I don't know. Well, I'm sure you were the same way. When I was in high school, that's all we did. Well, I mean, we lived at that gym. Our parents would be like, are you kidding me? Are you ever coming home? It's like, well, we're at the gym,
And it's so nice now the Tabby's community came together and we got our newer gym to where these kids can just go in whenever they want. You ain't got to try and get your mom to get the principal to let you in the gym, for an hour. So like if they got a pass to get in the gym, they can walk right in there and they can be there all day long if they want, which I think has improved Tabby's basketball program significantly.
And back to Rocky, like I was saying, that's I know that's the key reason why he just picked up where he left off, because he may not have been on the team, but he didn't quit playing ball.
Yeah,
but it's good to see him back. It'll help them, and he's a junior this year, so they'll get him again next year, and it'll help them so much to have him a part of that program.
Oh yeah, and he's so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, he even on the defensive end, he just does not let kids just do anything they want down there. He's so strong with the ball. And then our second leading scorer right now is Jackson Olsen, like you just said, in the gym all the time. Phenomenal shooter, man. He is one of them kids that if he makes that first one, the team better watch out.
It's going to be a long night for the other team.
He is really, really good at shooting the ball.
But you know what's crazy? The first couple of games, he struggled bad. First 2 games, I'm not sure if he even hit a 3. He just, and who knows, it's first game jitters, you call it sometimes, but then it carries into the second game. But the last game they played, I know he made some adjustments. I kind of gave him some crap after the game one night, just teasing him a little bit, and what I told him, he already knew. He's like, I know it, and he come back, and maybe he went and worked on it, maybe he didn't, just thought about it. But whatever he did, it came back the next game, and he shot the ball really well.
Against Monticello, and the Tigers needed every one of those threes.
Yeah, they did.
It came down to the wire. He really helped him out, especially in that first quarter, just getting his whole team just hyped up.
Yeah, he had 2 or 3 in the first quarter.
So now you got Case Thomas, and I feel like people don't give a lot of credit to Case. He's a good shooter, but he does work his butt off. There are times where sometimes you think he could take maybe a little better shooting opportunity, but overall he's just a really good ball player and a great kid.
Well, like you said, he works hard. You know, he's always scrapping. You don't really catch him standing around. So yeah, he's one of the seniors this year, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we got 3 seniors.
Yeah. And then next you got Strand. He's leading the Tigers in rebounding, and he had a tough season last year with injuries and different things, and I'm hoping that this year he can, keep playing, because like I said, the Tigers only got their first 5, and then it's freshman time after they get subs in. So.
Yeah, they're kind of a little bit opposite of Coach Fabrizio with the girls. He's got boys on the bench that can come in and help. A couple of those games we've watched, 2 of those freshmen have come in. And in the one game in particular, in my opinion, they're the reason that they turned that game around and ended up winning. Because they brought in a spark that was not there. But Coach Gines isn't quite as deep on the bench. But he's been doing it for a long time. I think he can put it together and bring him in and get some help.
And he's got great, Coach Giants got great assistants too. You got Coach Jones and obviously Levi. They know the game probably better than we do.
Well, and Levi's one of the best players that's played for Tabby.
Yes.
He's in the record books. He has a championship. Levi was a good ball player, so he knows the game. And Dallas knows the game as well, but I was going to hit on Strand real quick, too, because you mentioned a couple of the injuries, and I talked to him last year. I haven't had a chance to this year, but I was asking him, I says, when you step out to the 3, you're a little short on everything. What's going on? Because Strand can shoot the ball. And he was explaining to me he's had shin problems. And Brett was also telling me, too, they've had several doctor visits and trying to figure it out, and I haven't had a chance to this year. I want to ask him how he's feeling and how it's going. But the thing about Strand, if you get him in that high post around that elbow, it's lights out.
His jumper is just spot on.
Yeah, that's where he likes to shoot, and he's very effective from there.
Right. Then you got Carson Curry. He plays tough, gets rebounds, and he's not scared to play defense either.
No, he hustles.
He is probably the hustler of the Tabby team.
And he's a kid, like I was saying earlier when we were talking about averages. Carson's not going to average you 10 points a game. And I hope Carson understands that's fine.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff that he does, the defense, the rebound and the work, and putting pressure on the ball.
Yeah, and jumping for them loose balls.
Yep. That's
getting those jump balls.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get on the ground, and that's something coaches love to see. And if you come in and you get 2, 4, 6 points, whatever, that's kind of just icing on the cake for him, because, and I think he understands his role. Most kids do,
Right.
Most kids know, hey, I'm not the one that's going to come out and put up 20 points a game. This is what I need to do. And that goes for all of these teams we've discussed. They're all built the same way. There's 2 or 3 kids that they're going to rely on for points. If the rest of them come in and score, that's great. But they also have other things they're going to be doing more important. They're going to be focused on more than just scoring.
Right. Then you go to the freshmen, Samuel Grail, Carson Sanders, and Hunter Hamilton. Having them last year in junior high, because I coached the junior high, we told them, you guys have a lot of shoes to fill next year. We already planned these 5 kids need some help. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, Samuel and Hunter and Carson have stepped up as freshmen.
And I didn't know Sam. The first game I had to ask someone who he was because I didn't know who he was. But watching him play, the kid can shoot. You can tell sometimes in these varsity games he's a little nervous, which is to be expected.
Right.
But that's not saying that he hasn't played well. So the game I was referring to earlier was him and Hunter Hamilton that came in. And Hunter Hamilton, you want to talk about a scrapper.
Oh, yes.
That kid, he is a scrapper.
And that's the thing I love about Hunter. Even though he's Coach Gines' grandson, he is coming out there and he is giving it his all on defense. There's
a couple of games we watched. He was the smallest kid out there by far. And he was pulling rebounds down. He was boxing these kids out, getting the rebound. And to me, that's impressive because he knows he doesn't have a lot of height.
Right.
but he also is not afraid to go in there and take the ball. And you love to see that, especially out of a freshman. I mean, you love to see it, period. But out of a freshman, knowing that he's got 3 more years after this to do nothing but improve, and he's already got, obviously you can improve on that. You can always improve. But he's kind of got that part figured out. So it'd be interesting to see with him what he can put together as, to complete his game through the next 3 seasons.
Well, and he's just so tough. I mean, he's a bull rider.
He's a good bull rider.
He made it to the Vegas last year. I mean, he done extremely well this year too. So I mean, it goes to show you. I mean, you got to be tough to be a bull rider. I don't care what you say. You have to be so tough to be a bull rider, and then leave bull riding to go playing basketball. Yeah. So it shows you how tough of a kid he really is. So I say that we covered the boys as good as we could for this week until we get some more games to come through. Let's jump over to the girls.
Let's do it.
So as far as the girls, the Rich Rebels, once again, they've just kind of started their season, so there's really not much we can really look at.
I think they played with the boys last night, didn't they? They played Malad. I'm assuming it's Idaho. It's got to be Idaho.
Probably.
And I think they both did play.
And then Panguage, they if I can pull up their stats here.
I was trying to find the leading scores for the girls on Max Prep, but I could only find 4, so I guess maybe the other coaches haven't entered anything in,
but yeah, I mean, Panguage, their girls are 3-1 right now. They beat Millard. They beat El Captain. They're from Colorado. They did lose to Enterprise, but I know Enterprise's girls are really tough this year too. And then they beat Paiute. Looking at their stats here, it looks like Tate Miller, she averages 12 points a game. And then you got Lily Torgerson, almost 10 rebounds a game.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, for a girl, she's definitely one you must got to box out because I'm sure she's going for every rebound she can get her hands on. And then, when it comes to high school, assists ain't like the NBA, It's got to be that pass, and then it's got to go in the hoop.
Yeah.
So, and right here you got Annie Yardley. She's averaging 3.3 assists a game, which is really impressive for a girls' team.
Yep.
So that just kind of covers their top
well, and it kind of goes back to, just real quick, to the boys. The girls' program, I'm pretty sure, is ran the same as the boys' program. These kids from Panguitch have had it taught to them, like the girl getting 10 rebounds a game. I would dare bet she's been taught that from age 5 probably, or whatever. But they run the same type of program, so I'm not surprised to hear that they've got a girl that averages 10 rebounds a game.
Right. And then we head over to Valley. Once again, really good ball club. They beat North Severe pretty good. They played that L Captain also from Colorado. They beat them pretty good. And they did lose to Enterprise pretty good. But like I said, I think Enterprise's girls they're pretty good this year.
And Valley, both teams you covered were in the power rankings too. So.
Yes. And looking at their stats, Andy Anderson, she's averaging 14 points a game. And then right behind hers, Rayleigh Brinkerhoff, 8 points a game. And rebounds, that's Rayleigh Brinkerhoff. Right here it says she's averaging 15 rebounds a game.
Jeez.
So, I mean, but like I said, it's hard to tell with only a couple games being played. Mm-hmm. But even still.
Even if they've only played 2 games, if she's getting 15 rebounds a game, that's pretty good.
And that's what Max Prep's saying, so that's what we're going to go off of. And I hope they're right. So, but who is the next team on the power ranking here? I know we had Tabby, but we'll talk about them in a minute. Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne.
Wayne. They're 4-0 right now. They are one of those teams that I think are going to be really tough come state tournament time.
You've got it pulled up there. So A.J. Van Dyke is their leading scorer.
Right.
at 17.3. How old is she? Because that name sounds very familiar.
She's a junior.
Okay, I thought that I remembered her name from the tournament last year.
Yeah, she must be one heck of a ball
If
player.
it's the girl that I'm thinking of, it had to have been the tournament because I don't think I would have seen Wayne play anywhere else. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah, she's a good ball player.
And she's averaging 6 rebounds a game too. So, and next to her is Lily Morrill, and she's averaging 10 points a game. And then right behind her is Bree Torgerson, 9.8 points a game. So Wayne's got a bunch of threats as well.
Mm-hmm.
From what Max Preps has shown me. And that's why I say I can't wait to hopefully see these girls playing against Panguage and see how that turns out. It's going to be a very interesting game to watch.
I agree.
And then Tabiona. And like we said before, Coach Fabrizio has threats in any corner.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't matter what girl has the ball. They are a threat on the floor. And just watching them last night against Mazer Prep, one girl that just really stands out to me on defense is Obella.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to talk about a girl that is not going to let her man go around her.
Mm-hmm.
She has fast hands. I'm telling you,
she moves her feet.
She moves her feet very well.
She, like all other kids, she gets in the habit of reaching once in a while. But yeah, she's quick. She moves her feet. She doesn't just give up space. Because they had, so that Mazer Prep last night, their I guess you kind of call them their go-to girl, is who Bella was guarding. And I haven't been able to look to see I know her last name was Nolan, so I don't know what she's averaging, what she's done as far as scoring. I know in one of their previous games they put up 55 points, and after watching them, I would dare bet that she's probably the bulk of it. And so I would like to see what she's been scoring, because I watched her in warm-ups during the JV game, and whoever was sitting by, I said, that girl right there can shoot the ball, Found out later that she's kind of their go-to. Well, if that's the case, I mean, Bella shut her down, because
definitely
they only scored, 14 points on us? And, I mean, yeah, Bella played a great game.
Yeah, and then Macy Hagman, she's leading right now with 12.7 a game. And then you got, on the rebounding end, Macy Hagman's, she's kind of their rebounder.
Well, and the thing about Macy, last year she had a knee injury. I'm going to say, because I think I'm right, and I could be wrong. If I am, I'll correct it, but I think she tore her ACL last year. She tore something.
Yes.
And so they lost her last year, and that was a big loss for them. And you can tell by watching her that knee does slow her down a little bit. But I will say one thing I've noticed is her footwork, in my opinion, has improved from last year to this year.
Tremendously.
She's able to make a move in the post. She's kind of got it down to where she can fake one way, go the other. She can just go the one way, and she's pretty solid at finishing. A couple games she struggled, missed 4 or 5 layups in a row, but you can get that from anybody. But Macy, she's going to be a big part of their offense this year for sure.
Oh, yes, and she's been a girl, when she gets it down low, she'll figure out a way to usually get it up on the glass or something. So, and then right behind her, you got Joy Gines. Her 3-point shot is deadly.
Well, and we talked about someone earlier.
Yeah.
The assistant on the boys, Levi Gines.
Yes.
For those that may not know, Joy is Levi's daughter. And, yes, she's a good shooter. One thing that I have kind of noticed watching her, she does have a pretty decent little step-back shot, but I feel like she is more accurate, more deadly when she's kind of spot up, and it comes over and she catches it in rhythm and puts it up. Because, like I said, she's got a good step-back, but I feel like if she's got it in rhythm, yeah, it's...
Oh, yeah, even last night she was, spotting up in the corner, getting the ball, and you can tell she wants to shoot and she wants to make everyone because as soon as she grabs it, she's in rhythm, ready to fire.
And that's like Bella. We talked about Bella earlier, but she's a shooter too.
Oh, yes.
She has struggled a little bit to start the season, but if she gets it figured out and gets it going, she can also shoot. And Bella, it runs in the family. Her dad, Levi's brother, Logan. So both those girls have had great teachers, not to mention their grandpa, who is the head coach. So they've had great teachers to learn the game. And Bella's sister, which I don't know if he's going to bring her up or not, but Elizabeth, she's one that, she can shoot. I don't think her percentage is quite as high, but she can shoot the ball. She hustles. She works hard.
Oh, yes. And then, Talia Allred following right behind Joy with averaging 8 points a game. And she is so fast.
Yo, man.
Like, when she gets the ball, she is going, and she's so good at finishing around the rim, and she's a great shooter as well.
Oh, yeah.
That goes right back to what we were saying. Coach Fabrizio don't have to rely on, that two-girl offense like he's kind of had to deal with in the past.
Yeah.
He has got, honestly, 8 girls that are just he can put in and not worry about.
And one thing about T, when she goes, she can go left, like with the best of them. She's right-handed. A lot of kids don't like using their left hand. You'll see her go left all the time and finish left.
Right.
T's fun to watch.
And Talia, she's right behind Macy in field goal percentage right now at 59%.
Yeah.
And she, like I said, she's shooting the ball from everywhere, really.
Mm-hmm. And she gets to the rim pretty well because she's so fast, like you were saying. She doesn't have a problem getting to the basket.
And right behind her with field goal percentage right now is Elizabeth Gines, 57%.
So I guess her percentage is up there. Maybe I guess what it is she maybe doesn't take as many shots as the rest of them. But yeah, like I said, she can shoot the ball too. You remember that game last year at the region tournament when T and I think it was Bella just went off. They were they couldn't miss. I'm pretty sure it was Bella. When they played out there at Park City, I want to say they were playing Manila. And man, they carried that whole team, but they couldn't stop them. That was a fun game.
Yeah. And then obviously you got Cadence Pippi. She's a hustler, always getting on the floor. She's averaging 2 assists a game right now, right behind Joy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
KP she did something to her knee. I think it was in volleyball, something earlier this year. So she's been dealing with a little bit of, I think you've noticed she's got to wear that brace now, and it kind of sucks because once you do something to your knee, it's almost like it's never the same,
Right.
But I don't want to say it slowed her down because she's still a big asset to the team. But it sucks when you have to, and I'm sure we would all be the same. That's always lingering in the back of your mind. You're scared to hurt it again. And I was asking her mom and dad at the first of the season how she was feeling, and that's kind of what they said. She seems to be doing okay, but kind of a little nervous, doesn't want to hurt it again. And I want to say she maybe didn't play in the first game. I can't remember. But for some reason I was asking them why she wasn't playing or something, and they told me that she wasn't quite ready, which is good. If you're not ready, don't go. It's not worth going because she's only she a junior? KP?
Yes.
So she's still got another year, so you don't want to get out there early and re-hurt it and take a chance of not being able to play next year.
Right. So. And then, right behind her, you got Adri, Coach Fabrizio's daughter. Mm-hmm. And then, you got Kayla Gines, and then Chloe Pippi, too.
Yeah.
Them girls come off the bench, and like I said, it's almost like the starters are still in the game sometimes. Yeah. But I can't wait to watch the Tigers play, the Rich Rebels and them top-tier teams, because their schedule right now has been a little more on the weaker side, in my opinion. But it doesn't matter. You can watch how they move the ball around, and it's almost...
Well, and they all work hard. Like we said before, if a girl doesn't score as many points, she's understanding that. Like Adri, dude, that girl, she's not the tallest girl out there by no means.
No.
But, man, she works. I tell Chase, because the last few girls' games I've been calling the games with Chase, Spencer's been out of town, and I'm impressed every game how she works. And another thing about it is none of them are really all that selfish. There was some plays last night where a girl had a shot, but she saw her teammate that had a better shot, and so they made that extra pass. And it's so cool to watch kids that aren't selfish and they're willing to give up a shot that there's probably a high percentage chance they're going to make it.
Right.
But they know that their teammate right over here's got a higher percentage and they're going to kick it over. There was one play last night, that pick and roll. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Wacey and one of the guards. And I don't want to take anything away from them because it was a sweet play, but the defense was completely lost because there wasn't another girl in the paint with Wacey.
Right.
But as far as the execution goes, you could see they were right on the same page. They were tuned in. They knew what was going to happen, and it was pretty cool.
But anyways, so that's kind of the coverage here on the girls' side. We're going to dig into some other teams, when more games are played, and we can get some more stats. But now I think we can roll into our memories on the hardwood. So, did you come up with one?
Well, I'll let you tell yours first because I've got a couple that I'm thinking of. When you got here and asked me, I had nothing. I got so busy trying to research these scores and everything else that I completely forgot that you had told me earlier today that was something you wanted to do. So I'll let you take yours away, and I'll think of something.
I got a memory, but it ain't too great. But, as far as coaching and being that dad for my kids and stuff, it's definitely gonna focus on the free throw line. So I'll throw it back to 2014. I was a junior, and we were playing Paiute in the quarterfinals, and it was a hard fought game. Came down to the end. Guess who gets fouled?
Mr. Dally DeFay.
Mr. Dally DeFay. And, I remember walking up there just thinking, I know I can make these. I've shot tons of free throws in practice. So I get up there and my first one hits, it bounces right back. I'm like, oh, gosh, that's frustrating, So you get up there again, miss it again. Missed 2 free throws that could have sealed that game right there.
Did you guys have the lead at that point?
No, it was tied.
Oh, it was tied ball game.
It went into overtime.
Oh.
And we ended up losing in overtime.
That was 2014?
That was 2014.
So here we are. You have it 11 years later, and it still stings, doesn't it?
It still stings.
Yeah.
It
hurts.
It makes me, as a coach, just want to pound in these kids' heads how important free throws are and how important in practice you really should take the time to try and make yourself nervous, get your legs as tired as you can get them, and then put them in. Because even now, that still haunts me because the Tabiona Tigers that year didn't go to the semis, but we wrapped back around and we ended up taking 6th place. So I guess to get 6th out would have been the first game of state, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Either way, it'll never leave my mind until I die how important those free throws were. And the most frustrating thing was they just started to video these games, and have stuff. And watching back at that footage, you hear the announcer say, oh, that kid's gotta be frustrated and upset. And he was so right, man. It was so hard to watch Paiute go on to play that next game.
Well, and that's a big spot to be in for anybody. Game tied, two free throws. I mean,
and you got the whole crowd just hoping it'll go in. I got my buddy DeMontenay just telling me, just breathe and put them in, buddy.
Do you remember how much time was left?
There maybe 2 seconds.
Oh,
there was very little.
I mean, not to pour salt in your open wound here, but you kind of really maybe only needed at least one.
I'm telling you.
Because they would have been forced to throw a 3/4 court shot to try to...
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts, bud.
Yeah,
that hurts.
I remember seeing J.J. Ramos. He was one of the Paiute's best players, and he went on. He was a phenomenal guard for him, but yeah, they went on to play, and they ended up getting beat. But man, it's frustrating for me to look back at that. But now, like I said, as a coach, I really pound that into the kids' heads that they need to focus on their free throws,
Yeah.
because that opportunity could come at any one of them. So
Isn't it funny how, well, you've been doing it for quite a few years now. I just started this year. Coach Chase Potter of the junior high girls, him and Coach Chase Rhodes have been doing it for the better part of 10 years. And Chase decided to be done this year. Chase Rhodes decided to be done this year. So Chase Potter called me and asked if I'd be interested in doing it with him. I said, heck yeah, I would. That'd be fun, And it is. It's a blast. Some of these girls, I would say the majority of them, but they didn't know me. One of those things like, yeah, I know who you are, but you don't have a clue who I am, But I went to school with a lot of those girls' parents. But man, it's so fun to coach them, and like you're saying, to try to get it into their heads that how important this is or that is. It's the little things a lot of times. Like I have this rule, and I helped out with junior jazz for a couple of years too. But I did this with those younger kids as well. But I have this rule: you're not allowed to leave my gym on a missed shot.
right,
I don't care if it's a 3, a half court, a layup, a free. It doesn't care. I don't care what it is. But I was told that by Coach Jerry Strebel. I want to say it was probably around my freshman, sophomore year. He used to always tell us, don't ever leave on a missed shot. And I don't know why, but for some reason I really took to that. So I always did that.
right.
And my own kids right now, even if we're just kind of in the gym and it's not practice, they're just playing. Boston shoots here in the living room on the door. You better make one before you're done,
Right.
But it's a mindset thing. Like I tell our girls all the time, we've got a couple of girls that can shoot the ball really well, but if they miss a few, they're so beat in their own head, and you know this as well as anybody. Your night's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I as a player myself, that was kind of my role, was a shooter, and if you get in your own head, man, it feels like it takes forever
Yeah.
to recover. So I try to tell these girls, hey, so what? You missed it. Who cares?
Right.
Everybody misses,
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun to be able to try to take what we know and to try to pass into these younger kids and watch them progress. And I'm a little jealous of both Chases and you, because you guys have got to do this. You've got to teach these kids and then watch them as they go through high school. And I'm sure there's a little part of that that's like, man, we worked on that with them a lot.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to see them carry it through. And, like the girls program. I mean, I'll just speak for that because that's kind of the side I'm a little more involved in. But Coach Fabrizio has had a great program below him, like I talked about earlier. You see these girls, Chase and I were talking about the other day, and he was kind of saying how, yeah, we take these girls and we show them, this is what you're going to be expected to do. This is how you're going to be expected to do it. And to watch them carry it through high school, that's got to be pretty sweet to kind of know, not really to pat yourself on the back, but to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like we taught them that,
Right.
But if not for you guys, somebody's got to teach them.
Right.
So it's a pretty cool spot to be in. But it's, yeah, like I said, it's just fun to be able to try to teach them what and hopefully they, and some kids they kind of look at you like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. But our team, we've got 17 girls on that junior high, and every one of them's just fun as heck,
Yeah.
You joke around with them, but they also know, like, okay, we're joking now, but right now we're not,
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. So
So do you have a memory?
yeah, I guess I can throw one out. I guess since you went a little bit on the sad negative end, I'll try to bring us up a little bit. So we were down, let's see, where was my senior year? I want to say Cedar City at the state tournament. I think we were at SUU. And we had Leighton Christian in the quarterfinals. And they were pretty much picked to win it that year. They were good. Coach Bobby Porter and his boy BJ Porter. And, man, he was a ball player. Kid was good. They had a couple. I remember a kid named DJ Lester. He may have been the year before me. He might have been a senior when I was a junior. But those two players for that team really stick out to me. Anyway, quarterfinals, we came out right off the bat, and I had hit my first three. And it was one of those, I don't know if it was maybe the atmosphere, knowing where we were. But it was just, I had a heck of a game.
Yeah.
I ended up with 6 threes. One of them was a 4-point play on BJ Porter. He come out to try to block me and ended up mowing me over like a train. and got the 4-point play, and we beat them. We ended up beating them. I don't remember exactly. I wish I had Dallas Jones sitting here because I guarantee you he could tell me the exact score.
Oh, we're going to have Dallas on here.
Dude, that kid is a basketball encyclopedia.
Yes,
I don't think there's anything that he can't answer.
Right.
And I freaking love talking to him about basketball because you can be like, you remember this game? Oh, what was, and he'll just boom right there, and he'll tell you everything. I mean, he'll tell you the players, it's insane.
Oh, I love Dallas when it comes to stories.
But I want to say we ended up beating them by about 15, right in there. So knocked out the team that was not knocked out, but took them out of the championship bracket, the team that was supposed to win it that year. And then just to kind of extend the memory a little bit, I was selected to be on the All-Star team out in, we played at Murray High School, and we played, let's see, that one was, I think it was our region against the private school region, and the coach of the private school region was Bobby Porter. Well, after the game, they told us, they got on the mic, said, hey, go over here to the corner, Coach Porter's got a little plaque for you, just give him your name and what school you're from. So we all go over there, and I'm in line. I step up, and now this guy's 7 foot or taller.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, you're looking up.
Yeah.
I walk up there, and I said, hey, I'm Wacey Giles from Tabion, and he just shook his head. He says, you think I don't know who you are? And I've never talked to the guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. Well, I know you. I says, okay. He says, you took my state championship from me. And I said, what are you talking about? Oh, don't act like you don't know. He says, you and BJ come out there and ran you over, got the 4-point play, and you're just, everything you threw up went in. And I says, Coach, I apologize for that. He says, no, you don't. And I said, you're right, I don't. But it was sure fun, But that was kind of cool for me, too, to know. Because when you're playing, you don't know that these coaches
recognize you.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a well-known coach. I mean, Layton Christian was a good ball club every year that he coached there. But yeah, I remember that did make me feel pretty cool that he knew who I was and I knew why he knew who I was. So yeah, I guess that can be
that's some awesome memories from
the hardwood memory there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe here before we close out, should we just I know there's a couple of games tomorrow. Tabby's boys play Milford tomorrow here at home,
which will probably be a good one.
Milford, they are playing, I think, Altamont tonight. Pretty sure that's what it is. Right now, Milford is 1-1. So after tonight, 2-1, 1-2, whatever that may be.
And they were one of them teams. They've had a lot of games this week because obviously they played in that football championship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then Tabby will be coming in at a 2-1 record. Another game tomorrow. There's only a few, so I'll just read them all off. Monument Valley will play Whitehorse, a couple of southern teams. Dugway is going to play Hayden. I'm not sure who Hayden is or where they're from. And then Paiute will play tomorrow. They'll play Grand County, which our boys played first of the year. I don't think it was our first game.
Yeah.
Anyway, played them first of the year, beat them here at home. Manila will play Mazer Prep. Now, Mazer Prep, it says they're 3-1. So I haven't had a chance to look at them and who they've played and what they've been doing as far as scoring. But Manila's another. We didn't talk much about Manila tonight.
No, we'll catch them on the next one.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about them. Manila, they're always a good program too. Coach Hughes, he's a couple years younger than me, but I remember him well in high school, and he's a good guy, and I think he does a pretty good job with that program too. Panguitch will play Green River, and Bryce Valley will play Beaver Dam, and I think Beaver Dam's out of Arizona, but I'm not 100% sure. So a couple of games tomorrow, and then obviously a break for the weekend. There was a couple other games here that I thought might be worth looking out for. Escalante, I don't know a lot about them because they did have a couple of years where they didn't play. I think they've been back for 1 or 2 years now, but Bryce Valley will play them on Tuesday. And then St. Joe, they're back in our region now. Or I don't know about back, but they're in our region. So that'll be one that we'll kind of keep an eye on as well. They'll play Ben Lomond, which is a bigger school. I don't know if they're 2 or 3. And then on Wednesday, I think our girls also play Wednesday. That's the 10th. They'll be playing Green River. I think they both play, and I think it's here. I'll have to check on that for sure. Duchesne and Altamont. You always like to see these Tabby Duchesne Altamont games.
Oh yeah.
Watch the close towns play together, and then Wayne and Penguich. That'll be on Wednesday.
Which is the game that I would consider that the game of the week.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. And then Valley's got Milford, so we'll see Milford tomorrow, and that'll be good to actually watch them, and we kind of know who to watch for, how they play their style of ball, and then I thought there was one more. Oh, Tinnick. We didn't talk much about Tinnick either. They were a decent team last year, and I feel like they're probably going to be. They've got that Hagen Jameson, he's a good ball player. He kind of gets in his own head a little bit, like I was talking over some of these other players. I know last year I watched him a couple of times, got pretty frustrated, ended up walking clear out of the gym, which I don't like to see that I don't like to see players do that, because at that point, I feel like you're done.
Right.
If it gets to that point to where you walk out of the gym and the game's still going, you're not fouled out.
Right.
You're done for the night, because there's no way you're going to be able to recover from that. You're just too far beating your own head. But Tinnick right now, they're a slow start. They're a 1-3, but I think they'll end up turning it around. And I don't remember what they lost last year, and I don't know what they gained, but they'll be one to kind of keep an eye on too. Then I'll just get one more next Friday. Wendover is another team we haven't really talked about, but they're usually somewhat competitive. A little slow start for them at 0-2, but they'll play American Prep West Valley. And then Penguich and Tinnick will play. Paiute will play Whitehorse. Wayne will play Altamont. Man, there's a lot of games next Friday.
Yeah, it's packed house. For
Bryce
games.
Valley and Monticello. Milford and Millard. Wendover will play White Pine. I think I said Bryce Valley and Monticello.
Just games, just lined up.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
There's going to be a lot to talk about
next week. Will be a good week for 1A basketball. I'm excited for this season. I'm excited that we finally launched this podcast.
Yeah, and I hope that people start to listen, and I hope people send some memories into our email, and and anything that's related to 1A, we'd love to hear.
Absolutely.
If you want us to talk about something, please send it in to us. We want to hear it.
Coaches, fans, maybe a fan has a memory, something they remember happening at a game years ago.
Yeah, you don't. And it don't even have to be on the hardwood. If you got a funny, bus trip, memory you'd like to share.
Yeah, just anything that sticks out in your mind. And one more time, the email that you can send that to, if you would like to, is the GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com.
Is it the before that?
Yes. It does have the GD1A Sports Podcast at gmail.com. There's probably going to be a few things that we're going to maybe add in as we go. Right now, as long as our work schedules allow, we're planning on recording on Fridays. We'll have the new episode out to you guys on Mondays. It's going to be on Spotify for sure. I'm working on YouTube. Hopefully I can get that wrapped up tomorrow, so that when I do put this one out for Monday, I can get it on both. If you don't find it on YouTube Monday, I'm not the smartest tech guy. I sat here for 3 hours the other night trying to figure out certain things on this. But this is all new to me. I've wanted to do a podcast for about 5 years now, but I just couldn't
find something to talk about.
No, I think it's just I couldn't get the guts to do it.
Oh.
It's like nobody wants to listen to me, and maybe no one does. I don't know. But I'm glad we're doing it. I'm glad you brought it up last year. Actually, I guess we should give credit where credit is due. Your wife is the one that brought it up.
Yeah. And
asked if I would have any interest in doing it with you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. If any of you guys that know us personally want to send a text and chime in on something, if maybe we have missed something or something you want us to watch for or let other people to watch for, let us know. Reach out. We're not a...
Or if you want to be a guest.
Yeah. If you want to come in, we got another mic. We got another headset. We'll snuggle you right up here on this couch with us. And
like I said, we'll get better camera,
lighting. I've got more lights. I just didn't think we'd need them, but once we was up here, I couldn't really run away and turn them on. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in here, and thank Dally for doing this, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is.
So
thank you for joining us. We're covering all 1A, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, next Friday. Well, I guess for you guys next Monday. And that could change, but for right now, that's the plan. So thank you. We'll see you.